And free play is probably something they do now with racinos, and they will in casinos, and they probably will do on online poker to get people interested in playing online poker, as you would to come to a racino or a casino.
Through you, Mr. President, the sponsor would continue to yield.
Yes.
Sponsor continues to yield.
I am over 21. I open up the account. How does anyone know whether I have given access to someone under 21 to use my account to play?
Well, the question is, when I want to set up an account, I have to prove I'm over 21, okay? When they want to set up an escrow account to bet, so they place money with the vendor in an escrow account, and that's what they play off, all right? Your question is, how do you prevent an applicant who's over 21 from letting someone under 21 play? Would that be the same question as if you're allowed to use marijuana in Colorado? Why wouldn't I let my children use it? I mean, there's some things is common sense and practical. Maybe that may go on in an extremely isolated case, but I don't see a father or a mother trying to get their kids involved in online gaming. Maybe fantasy sports, but not online gaming.
We can save that debate till whenever you like. Through you, Mr. President, if the sponsor would continue to yield.
Yes, of course.
Sponsor continues to yield.
Yes.
So the sponsor assumed a parent was doing this for their child. Not so likely. These scenarios of teenagers getting 21-year-olds to buy them liquor, cigarettes, perhaps in certain states marijuana, is usually not the story of getting a parent to do it. But if I am a teenager who wants or has already developed an addiction for this game, I find some adult, probably not the most responsible adult, probably not a parent, to open an account and I'm putting the money in. How will we ever know that and be able to stop that? If I'm under 21 and I walk into a casino, somebody's going to, I assume, ID me and say it's not a legitimate ID and not allow me to play. But I don't think there's a parallel safety valve in online gaming.
First of all, if you get someone under 21 that wants to play this game, normally the adult is putting up the money, normally. So I would think an adult who's putting up the money may not want to allow someone under 21 to play. But assuming it's the one under 21 that's putting up the money, okay? When they apply, that's 21, they check their bank accounts, their credit line, and again, they look at betting patterns. So if money is being bet by an adult, but it's really someone under 21, and they see no change in patterns from a bank account, from a credit line, again, they're going to look at betting patterns and be able to investigate and target that adult sooner or later.
The sponsor would continue to yield.
Yes, I will.
Sponsor continues to yield.
So they research you before they open an account. What does the law say about when they're supposed to cut you off? In casinos, we have triggers for problem gambling and actually the ability to cut someone off. What would be the sections of our law here tonight that would limit people from overspending their line of credit, for drawing down on credit cards to pay off the continuing debt they are building up from the online poker, even though it's not gambling?
Page 6, line 24. E, as in easy. appropriate safeguards to minimize compulsive gaming and to provide notice to participants of resources to help problem gamblers.
Through you, Mr. President, if the sponsor would continue to yield.
I will.
The sponsor continues to yield.
So we're not setting up those standards. We're just saying they should exist somewhere.
Again, the Gaming Commission does this.
Through you, Mr. President, if the sponsor would continue
Yes.
to yield.
Sponsor continues to yield.
So in the other states where the sponsor, I think, took field trips, what standards did they use?
All this, you mean, what do they have now over there in Jersey?
Sure.
Because that's the place that we went.
That's the place you visited.
Well, I think you come in, this is my recollection now, you sign a personal information card where you talk of your age, you talk of your credit line, you talk of your bank accounts, you give your address, and you give money, which will go in an escrow account. And then you can only play in New Jersey, and when you place a bet, they know where you are, and they watch your patterns.
For you, Mr. President, the sponsor will continue to
Yes.
yield. Thank you.
Sponsor continues to
Oh,
yield.
by the way, one other thing I add. Sometimes someone will say, you know what? I can't handle my gambling. I don't want you to let me play anymore. And then no matter where they go, they're cut off from placing a bet. On online gaming, that is.
Through you, Mr. President, the sponsor will continue to yield.
The
Thank
sponsor
you.
continues to yield.
So as he just explained, you have an escrow account and you draw down from that. Under this law, would I be allowed to refill the escrow account just through a credit card line of credit as opposed to documenting I actually had money in the bank to pay for my continuing gambling losses, assuming I was going to keep losing?
I don't know the answer to that question, but I do know that the money must be deposited and we know it's cleared before they can continue online betting, because it's not like you can do an overdraft on what's in the escrow account. Once that money runs out, you run out playing online poker.
Through you, Mr. President, the sponsor will continue
Yes.
to yield.
The sponsor continues to yield.
Thank you. My understanding is that Senator Lindsey Graham carries a federal bill nicknamed RAWA, R-A-W-A,
Restoration America's Wire Act.
Restorations of Americans Wire Act, and that if this bill passes, New York State and the other states would not actually have the authority to have online gambling. Would New York have to pay back all the license fees in that situation?
What are you assuming that triggers a repayment of the license fees? That it's a violation of the Wire Act?
That it
Is
would
that
be
your
federal preemption, we could no longer have online gaming. So would we have to pay back the license fees?
talking as we go forward, or something that's interpreted that existed in 1961, the Wire Act, and that the state has violated it? I'm not clear with your question.
Right. Not going through you,
Senators,
Mr.
through the chair.
President.
Thank you.
I was not going back in time, I was going forward. If the federal government does pass their RAWA Act, a new federal law, would it not supersede our ability to have online gambling, and hence the licenses would no longer be good, and hence would we have to pay back the people who gave us the licensing fees?
Senator Bonasek.
First of all, if the federal government, as it went forward, prohibited this, we would have to terminate all online gaming. And any money in the escrow accounts of the bettors would have to be returned. Your question is as to the license fees?
License fees back.
Now, I don't know the exact answer to that question, but I would suggest that it would be a portion. If they had, 5 years of online gaming, and then it was preempted by the federal government and say you couldn't do it anymore, I would think what's fair, you have to return, 5/10 of the money back. I'm just being practical now, and I don't know. We never faced that situation, nor any other state has faced it. But you asked a hypothetical question. I gave you a hypothetical answer.
Through you, Mr. President, on the bill.
Senator Krueger on the bill.
I want to thank the sponsor for his answers. I just keep standing up in the floor of the Senate and saying, I don't think I'm opposed to all these gambling bills. I just can't find one I like. And tonight is no different. Tonight, despite the difference of opinion about whether online poker is gambling, you're betting money, you're taking a chance with your betting of money. It's a game called poker that many of us have known, perhaps known how to play, perhaps have played throughout generations. It's gambling. Now, we've legalized many other forms of gambling. The concern I have unique to the online gambling that we're having discussions about tonight, and perhaps in the near future around fantasy sports, also for the record, gambling, is that they're disproportionately more addictive types of gambling. When you go to a casino, you actually have to go there. If you're there for more than a couple of days, there's a good chance somebody's going to go, where the hell did Liz go? What's going on? Maybe we should check on her. With online gambling, it can be your smartphone in your pocket. It can be your laptop computer. Your credit card information is already downloaded. You have an escrow account that you can easily refill. And so it makes the ability to place the bet so much easier, and it makes it a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week, wherever you are at that moment in time in the state of New York, opportunity. And so for me, and in some of the research I have started to do, it shows that it is, in fact, a much more addictive kind of gambling. Now, that is probably why major companies involved with gambling are very excited about the opportunity to increase online gambling, because they know they will make an enormous amount of money on it. We, the state, might make some money on it, although unfortunately in this bill, it's not money that's going to be dedicated to education or increase funding for education, because if it goes into the general fund, it's likely to just be a replacement for other general funds monies we would spend on education. So I am very worried. It's more addictive. The research is starting to show that it's actually much more addictive than other kinds of gambling we have already legalized. It makes the likelihood of impulse betting and chasing losses much greater compared to locations where you have to physically get money from a bank machine and then go place it on a table, or I guess in our casinos, buy the debit card to put in the slot machine. It makes access to gambling just one click away to your online bank account and then your online poker account. It is true that there are some states legalizing this. There are many states not, and many countries not. And disproportionately, they are concerned about the regulation and the difficulties of actually tracking what goes on once you open the door to online poker. It is also true that this industry and the fantasy sports industry, if and when we get to that debate, are specifically targeting young male adults, teaching them how they love this, they need to play this, they need to play it over and over and over again, more variations, more pressing of the button to give that money over so that they can make the bet or the not bet if we don't recognize it's gambling, but it's gambling. It's real money out there. I actually fear, Mr. President, we're starting to turn our country into the next generation of what I call zombies. They stay up all night already playing these interactive, often violent games on their computers. It's just the next step to betting money on the outcomes of the activities they've already grown so addictive to. We don't talk to each other anymore. We apparently don't even need to go anyplace. We can just sit with our devices and become junkies on our computer devices, living zombies, gambling away an enormous amount of our disposable income. I wish I was wrong, but I am quite sure that this is going to prove to do great harm to our society. And it's bigger than New York, and it's bigger than this online poker bill. The irony is, we talk all the time about wanting to improve economic development activities in the state of New York. We want to build more jobs. We want to ensure people have living wages. We want to increase the activity in our communities, whether they're small towns or big cities. The thing about online gaming, it doesn't create jobs. It just takes all your disposable income and moves it to that little device and the house, which means you don't have your disposable income to go out to your neighborhood restaurant or your neighborhood store or take your kids on a trip or any of the other things that we think are good things for our society and good things for our economy. So I think we make a grave mistake in New York, far graver than the mistakes we've made so far in gambling, if we open our doors to online gaming. Whether you call it gambling or not, it's gambling. And this kind of gambling is exceptionally dangerous. I would urge all my colleagues to think hard and then vote no on this bill. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Bonasek.
First of all, no. Senator Kruger does not like gaming, does not like maybe playing poker, whether it's Texas Hold'em or Omaha poker. But what has happened in the last few years, they have the Poker World Series, and you watch it on television. And it's intimidating for some of the way the people look around that table. Some have sunglasses on, some have a hood on, but you like to watch the game. And they did research that over, say, 1 million hands of poker, 75% of those people that had the best hands folded as a testament to a game of skill. It's true. The young people like their smartphones, they like their iPads, they like the internet, and they like the computer. And they enjoy playing poker. They do. Some people do, but I tend to disagree with you. I think the slot machines at a racino or a casino are much more addictive than playing poker. But let's get back to online poker. What this environment does for people that want to try it and are intimidated to go into a casino or a racino, and by the way, they're lucky if 10% of the people that play online poker go to the casino for the live action. They dabble with it in their house. You could play a game of poker for pennies. It's a recreational activity that a lot of people like. So, I say, if that's true, and people make choices on how they want to spend their money, we should give them the opportunity to play online poker and control the abuses that go on. We can regulate it, monitor it, consumer protections, and basically weed out all the bad actors that are playing or offering online poker now in the state of New York. That's what this legislation does. And as a practical matter, it's tied to our racinos who do tremendous work themselves for education. It does increase jobs, and it allows our racinos to make some more money. And that's all home-based businesses. So, you know, whether you like poker or not, I think people are going to play it one way or the other, and we might as well control it. For that reason, Mr. President, I vote yes.
Senator Bonasac to be recorded in the affirmative. Are there any other members wishing to be heard? Seeing none, the debate is closed. The Secretary will ring the bell.